Is there anyone left worth saving in Gaza? Right? Should we feel bad um, for the civilians? Are there civilians left? Right? That's a difficult question. That's an important question. And maybe there's a lesson, or at least the same question raised in the story of Noah. Right? Noah lives in a terrible generation, but the Torah describes Noah, right, as Ela Toldot Noah. Noach ish tzaddik taimim haya b'dorotav. Noach, right? These are the Toldos, the offspring of Noach. Noach was a righteous person. He was pure in his generation, right? That additional is extra, right? Noach was a tzaddik. Let it be, right? Why does it have to say tamim haya b'dorotav, that he was pure in his generation? I think it's a very, very well-known Rashi. And Rashi says you can read this in one of two ways. You can read it as, wow, Noah was a tzaddik even in his generation with all the terrible things around him, with all the negative influences, with no friends like him. He was alone. He was alone in his values. And nevertheless, Noah was a tzaddik. Imagine what he would be in a different generation, right? Imagine what he would be if he had people like him. They could build a society together. He could grow with them. It'd be unbelievable, right? That is reading it as a positive. Noah, even in his terrible generation, was an amazing tzaddik. And some read it just the opposite, right? Ish tzaddik tamim haya b'dorotav. In his generation, he was considered righteous. But if he was in Abraham's generation, he would be considered nothing at all. Why would you have such a negative reading? So number one, you might be influenced by the fact that Noah's end is terrible. But in Rashi, you have to look specifically at the comparison to Abraham, right? He doesn't say in a different generation, Noah would be nobody. He says in the generation of Abraham, he would be nobody. One of the distinctions between Noah and Abraham, and there are a few, but one that many people harp on is, does Noah care at all about the people around him? Right? Abraham, when Hashem tells him he's going to destroy stone, Abraham turns to God and says, "Hashofet kol haaretz lo yaseh mishpat," the ruler, the judge of the whole world won't do justice. Maybe there's righteous people in there. Where is Noah saying that? Right? Where is Noah turning to God and saying, but what about all the people in the world? Right? What about everybody outside? What about humanity? What about the people you created? What's going to be with them? You don't hear a peep from Noah. And therefore, right, some say Abraham. Abraham loved everybody. Abraham was amazing. Noah was good, but he wasn't quite Abraham. But now let's flip it on its head. The opinion that says that Noah was righteous and would have been righteous even in Abraham's generation, right? Noah was forever righteous. He's aware of that distinction as well. How does that opinion, which says Noah was righteous in his generation, would have been more righteous in another generation, even in Abraham's generation? What's the defense for Noah? And it is possible, right, that if we want to defend Noah, we will say that, of course, Noah thought about it, but Noah knew that there was no saving this generation. There was nobody that was worthy of being saved. It was entirely corrupt, fully, right, to the bone. And therefore, he goes into the ark as Hashem commands him, and takes care of it, and does exactly what Hashem said, but he knew the people around him were not worthy of being saved. There was nothing left, and it had to be destroyed. I don't know the answer to the question that I posed. I'm much more pessimistic now than I was on October 6th. But I think it is an interesting question. And there are times in history when the reality is that it's so corrupt it can't be saved. And maybe that is the case. Again, I don't know. It's something worth thinking about. And I guess time will tell and answer that question for us. But then I wish you a Shabbat Shalom.